What's up, guys? Your boy Star back here today with another video, and there's some news out of South Korea that the the Fair Trade Commission over there has fined three gaming companies over loot boxes. And this article comes from ecftech.com. If you want to read the full article, I'll link it in the description box as always. And a summary of it says that South Korea's Fair Trade Commission, or the FTC, has fined Nexon, Netmarble, and Nextfloor, which is South Korea's which these are big gaming companies for South Korea, for a total of 1 billion won, which translates into 945,200 US dollars for allegedly deceptive loot box promotions. The regulator asserted that each of the studios either hit poor odds for obtaining some in-game items. In Sudden Attack, a popular first-person shooter, was just 0.5%, and Netmarble's Monster Hunter Monster Training pitched odds of 1% for a key creature, when the actual chance of winning was as low as 0.00005%, which, if I'm not mistaken, that translates into one. You have a 1 in 10,000% chance of getting the thing you want in that game. I could be wrong. Um, this can lead to some gamers spending inordinate amounts of money to get items that are far more than they seem. The commission noted that one player spent about $430. The companies aren't entirely happy. Nexon wants an additional review of the issue. Netmarble apologized and made changes, but it said it would decide its response after looking at the commission's full decision, while Nextfloor has not said nothing according to this article. And while this doesn't have much immediate bearing on other countries, it reflects the concerns many gamers and legislators have regarding loot boxes. And honestly, this is some people could overlook this and say, "Oh, it's nothing. This ain't nothing but a water drop in a bucket." But honestly, though, this is something big because this is in South Korea, and these aren't small companies, mind you. These aren't indie developers they're charging. These are big companies with popular game titles, and it kind of begs the notion: if the government was to get involved, would we as gamers, would we rather have lawmakers pass laws that regulate loot boxes or ban them, or would we rather have lawmakers and legislators and governments just issue a big whopping fine as like a warning shot, and then the next time they do it, it's like an outright ban? Now, I think that could be better for the long run. But honestly, with all the hate towards loot boxes, this is no surprise. It's no surprise, and the odds of getting the things you want in these said games are very, very low, like extremely low. And if they could do and the fact that you got the fact that you got Nexon mad about it, which I don't understand why. I mean, you know what the hell you were doing, so you can't really get mad at the shitty practice you tried to sneak in a game and not expect no backlash, not expect any backlash. Excuse me. Um, and Netmarble, at least they apologized and made some changes, but hasn't really decided its full response, while Netfloor has said nothing, and its silence pretty much speaks itself, because that pretty much tells me they either don't give a fuck, but they will soon enough when their shit gets taken out of the game. And this kind of also brings up the point that I really think this could be huge, very huge, because we all know how big other big corporations like EA, like Activision, like Ubisoft. They sell their games. I know they're selling in South Korea. So if these companies are smart, they need to either A, avoid the same mistakes these three companies did, Netfloor, Nextfloor, Nexon, and Netmarble. They need to avoid the same mistake they did and didn't do nothing about it until the government stepped in. What they need to do is take the shit out now of their games. Now I know EA did with Battlefront 2 and all, but it's still a Need for Speed Payback. That don't excuse it. Like it don't give any excuse. And I understand, I know people can make the argument, well, there's not enough pushback. Okay, that's because people ain't making enough noise for it. But people like me will make enough noise for people till somebody pays attention. Because you can't treat Need for Speed, a long running franchise, like a redhead stepchild and just treat it however you want and not think that you're going to get away with it. And I really think if you're gonna take him out of Battlefront 2, you need to take him out of Need for Speed, because and don't get me wrong, and not just Need for Speed, but I think UFC 3 has them as well. And think about it: if North Korea looks at any EA game right now, they could look at UFC 3 and they may be like, well, it's only one mode, but it still shouldn't be in there. And if they look at Payback and say, oh, if they were to look at Payback, it's over with, they will get a hefty fine just because of Payback. And all I'm saying is, and even with the new, all I'm saying is they need to get their shit fixed before the government pretty much does it for them by slapping them with a big fat whopping fine. And this goes to both ways for you. Now, Ubisoft, they're the lesser of three evils, but I mean, they're not. I wouldn't say they're. I ain't gonna say they're evil or awful, but they're still there. So I don't think if they were to get fined, it'd be like a small fine compared to EA and Activision. But Activision, yeah, they would get a huge fine, certainly. Um, EA would get a definite huge fine. Now I know there's been some news about how EA really isn't the corporate monsters we see them as, with Aaron Flynn coming out saying that they let us have creative freedom as developers, choose what engines that we want in our games. Don't force engines. Choose if we want now I'm not sure about microtransactions or not, if they're forced. I think he did say that they aren't forced and they choose what they want to implement in the game. But still, it don't excuse it, and this goes both ways to both publisher and developer. Though, if the developer puts it in the game, then it's about as good as their fault as the publisher too. Um, but I look at it like this: EA, Activision. I don't want to say Ubisoft, but fuck it, Ubisoft. Um, get your shit straight. Now, it ain't gonna take much for Ubisoft to get their shit straight. But Activision, EA, get your shit straight before the government comes and slaps you with a big fine. Now, or if, and I don't want to hear that they can't do it. If South Korea could do this to these game developers, what's stopping them to doing the same damn thing to other games that EA has right now that has loot box mechanics in it, or the Activision or the Ubisoft? What's stopping them? Or not just them, but to Rockstar to an extent with their microtransactions. Um, but what's stopping them from going after these big corporates? Nothing. If they can do it to them, I'm pretty sure they can do it to these other big corporations. And with that being said, I've been ranting and rambling for over 9 minutes now. What do you guys think about this? Do you think this is big? Do you really think this doesn't matter? Let me know down in the comments below, and we can have a discussion and talk about it. If you enjoyed my video, smash that like button as hard as you can. Subscribe if you're new to my channel. Tap the notification bell. That way you stay up to date on all my content. You never miss a video. And until next time, guys, it's been your boy H-Dog, and I'm signing out.